Scene 1, desolate moon, present time. The stars looked quiet, too quiet. Calver stood on the surface of a forgotten moon. Black dust covered his armor. His helmet lay cracked beside his feet. His large violet eyes stared at the sky. At the thousand suns that once burned in war. Now, there was only silence. He reached into his satchel and pulled out a black, cube-shaped recorder. A small red light blinked on. Calver spoke softly. "If you are hearing this, then the galaxy has already changed. And it's too late." He looked up again. "This is not a warning. This is a confession." Cut to flashback 1 year ago. Battle of Virex 5. The sound of explosions filled the sky. Green plasma bolts flew through the air as the Galactic Unity forces clashed against the humans. Calver, then a proud warrior of the planet Talrun, ran across the battlefield with his squad. His armor was silver, marked with the royal symbol of his people. His weapon, a curved energy blade, hummed in his hand. "Hold the flank," someone shouted through his comms. "They're breaking through." Cale looked to the east ridge. Human war machines were advancing, rolling tanks with claws and railguns. Their soldiers moved fast, in perfect coordination. But that wasn't what scared him. It was their faces. The humans didn't look angry. They looked calm, like they had done this 1,000 times. Cale whispered, "Why do they fight like this?" Scene 2. The turning point. The battle lasted 8 hours. In the end, Cale's squad was defeated. His captain was dead. The sky burned orange as the human dropships landed. Cale lay wounded, bleeding purple onto the ground. Footsteps approached. Human soldier pointed a rifle at him. "Don't move." Cale didn't. He couldn't. The human tilted his helmet back. "You're Talrun?" Cale nodded weakly. The soldier smiled faintly. "We don't kill prisoners." "Not yet, anyway." Cale was taken into custody that night. In a cold steel cell aboard a human dreadnought, he waited for interrogation. Instead, he heard laughter. Human soldiers were playing cards nearby, eating, joking, laughing like there wasn't a war. Scene 3. The question. A woman walked in. She wore a black uniform. No armor, no gun, just cold eyes. "I'm Commander Rhea Drake," she said. Cale sat up slowly. "What do you want from me?" She didn't smile. "Answers, but more than that. I want to offer you a choice." Cale was silent. Drake continued, "You're smart. You've seen what we are, how we fight. Your side won't win." Cale narrowed his eyes. "You murder planets." She nodded. "Yes, but only when we must. We didn't start this war." Cale growled. "You enjoy it." Drake leaned forward. "No, we just do what needs to be done. That's what makes us dangerous." She tossed him a datapad. It showed a map. A plan. "The next 3 battle zones. You can die for a losing cause," she said. "Or you can help us stop this war." Cale stared at her. "Why me?" Drake said one word. "Because you're like us." Scene 4. Training with humans. Cale accepted. He didn't know why. Maybe he was tired of losing. Maybe he was curious. Or maybe, deep down, he feared humans less than he feared being useless. He trained with Black Echo Squad, an elite human infiltration unit. At first, the other soldiers hated him. Called him names, refused to speak to him, but slowly he adapted. He learned human weapons, learned how to move like them, fight like them, think like them. His trainer, Sergeant Rook, once told him, "You want to survive, alien? You gotta kill your fear first, and then you gotta kill everything else." Cale didn't laugh. He just nodded. Scene 5. Mission. Echo Null. Their first mission together was on a station called Echo Null, a hidden alien base where the Unity forces were building a new AI weapon. Cale led the infiltration. He moved through the shadows. With his squad, silent and fast, he slit a guard's throat without blinking. The team planted charges. Data was stolen. The I core was destroyed. Back on the ship, Kale looked at his blood-stained hands. He didn't feel horror. He felt something else. Pride? No, power. Scene 6. The truth behind the war. After that mission, Drake called him in again. You did. Well, she said. Too well. Kale tilted his head. You expected me to fail? Drake shook her head. No, I just wanted to see how far you'd go. She handed him a sealed file. Read it. When you're ready. That night, Kale opened the file. It was labeled Post-War Protocol, Operation Afterburn. Detailed human plans. After the war ended, there were no peace treaties. No rebuilding missions. No diplomacy. Only one goal. Expansion. Humans planned to take control of every system, one by one, using fear, technology, and force. Kale's hands trembled. This wasn't survival. This was conquest. Scene 7. The Eye Warning. Days later, Kale was sent on another mission to a ruined listening post. On the edge of dead space. There, among the ashes, he found a damaged alien AI unit. Barely functioning, its glowing eye flickered as it scanned Kale. You are the one, it said. The one who walks with the fire blood. Kale frowned. What are you? The AI coughed static. I am what remains. I saw the first human. I saw the first war. It paused, and I saw what they become when they win. Kale asked, what do you mean? The eye said just one sentence. You've unleashed something worse than extinction. Then it died. Scene 8. The silence again, present time. Back to the moon. Back to Kale. Alone. He looked at the stars. War changes everyone, he said into the recorder. But humans, they were made for it. I saw it in their eyes. He paused. I fought beside them. I believed in their cause. I even called some of them friends. He picked up his cracked helmet. But now the war is over. And the galaxy thinks it's safe. He looked at the sky. It's not. He pressed a button. A hologram appeared. A map of the galaxy. Red dots spread like blood. Kale's voice was low. This is what they don't know. The real war is just beginning. Final scene, unknown location, Earth's secret command base. Commander Drake stood in a dark room, watching the screen. Kale's face appeared. A soldier behind her asked, do we eliminate him? Drake smiled faintly. No, she said. Let him speak. Fear spreads faster when it comes from a friend. She turned away. Phase 1 is complete. Let the galaxy tremble. Scene 1. Human warship nighttime. Calver stood alone in the dark corridor of the human warship Vindicator. The cold metal walls hummed quietly. A few red lights blinked from the ceiling. He stared at a mirror on the wall. He looked different. His armor was no longer silver. Now it was black, like the humans. His claws were sharpened. His eyes, once calm, now looked tired. Behind him, the reflection showed a group of human soldiers watching. Hey, Lizard, one of them said, smirking. You sure you're on our side? Kale didn't respond. Sergeant Rook, his trainer, stepped forward. Ease up. He's Echo Squad now. The soldier shrugged. For now. Kale walked away, saying nothing. But inside, a question burned. Am I really one of them, or just their weapon? Scene 2. First lesson. Fire and fury. Training with humans wasn't easy. They were smaller than Kale. Slower in some ways. But they moved with purpose, like they had trained for war since birth. Rule 1, Rook shouted in the combat room. Don't hesitate. Kale faced a training bot. It rushed at him. He dodged once, then again, but he didn't strike. Strike! Rook yelled. Kale growled, slashing the bot in half with one clean motion. Too slow, Rook said. You wait. You die. That's not how we win. Kale looked at his claws, now stained with oil. Violence is your first language, he muttered. Rook smiled darkly. It's our mother tongue. Scene 3, flashback, the classroom later, Kale entered. The human history room. The walls were filled with screens showing wars, battles, destruction. All from Earth. World War I, World War II, the AI Revolt, the Mars Riots, the Unification War. Humans had nearly destroyed themselves multiple times, and every time, they came back stronger. Kale watched a clip of a young human soldier on Earth, standing over a pile of rubble. The soldier said, "We don't lose. Even when we die, we win." Kale whispered, "Why?" A voice behind him answered, "Because pain makes us hungry." It was Commander Drake. Scene 4, mission briefing, Operation Thunderveil. Drake stood at the front of the war room. The squad listened in silence. "Your target is an Alliance communication hub on Altries 9. It's heavily guarded. We need it dark by tomorrow." Kale asked, "Why not destroy it from orbit?" Drake replied, "Because fear is more useful than fire." Everyone stared. Drake explained, "We don't want to just win. We want them to know we were there. We leave a mark." Kale understood. This wasn't about ending wars, it was about owning them. Scene 5, the mission, Altries 9. Kale's squad landed on the cold surface of Altries 9 at night. Rain fell like needles. Lightning cracked the sky. They moved silently through the tall grass. Human soldiers worked in pairs. Kale took point. Inside the hub, alien officers were communicating with High Command. Kale motioned, "Go silent." The team moved like shadows, no mercy. No noise. Kale rushed in, disabling 2 guards with a stun blade. Rook planted an EMP charge. They exited just as the hub went dark. As their dropship flew away, Kale saw a message burning into the grass from the fire. Humanity was here. Scene 6, night talk. Back on the ship, Kale sat alone in the barracks. Private Lynn, a young human sniper, sat beside him. "Don't sleep much, do you?" Lynn asked. Kale didn't respond. Lynn leaned back. "My brother died last year. Varex 5, maybe you were there." Kale lowered his head. "I was." Silence. Lynn said, "I don't hate you. War's ugly. People die. What matters is what you do next." Kale asked, "What do humans do next?" Lynn smiled bitterly. "Win. Always win." Scene 7, the Forbiddens. Room. Kale was curious. He snuck into the restricted area of the ship. Deck 17. No one went there. It was dark, cold, silent. Inside, he found cages. Glass cells. Inside each cell was a captured alien. Some were unconscious, others experimented on. A human AI voice said, "Subject 32, neural resistance at 74%, pain threshold increasing. Preparing next test." Kale stepped back in shock. Wasn't supposed to see this. He turned to leave, but a door opened. Commander Drake walked in. "You're not cleared for this deck," she said. Kale said nothing. Drake sighed. "This is what peace costs." He looked at her. "This isn't peace, this is cruelty." Drake didn't flinch. "This is preparation." Scene 8, loyalty tested. The next day, Echo Squad was called for a classified assignment. Their target, a Unity command ship that had Kale's own cousin on board. "Commander, cell run." Kale hesitated. "You want me to kill my own blood?" he asked. Drake replied, "No, we want you to prove you've cut that blood." Kale stared at her. Later, in space, the battle was fast. Explosions, lasers, screams. Kale boarded the enemy ship alone. Hunting Sal Run, he found him near the command core. His cousin stared at him. "Kale, you fight with them?" Kale said nothing. "They'll use you, then erase you." Kale raised his weapon, but instead of killing him, he stunned him. Sale fell to the ground. Kale whispered, "I had no choice." Scene 9, aftermath. A warning ignored. Back on Vindicator, Kale reported to Drake. "Target neutralized," he said. Drake asked, "Dead?" Kale lied. "Yes, She nodded. Good. She handed him a chip. This is Operation Afterburn Phase 2. Keep it close. One day, you'll use it. Cale accepted it. But fear filled his heart. What was he becoming? A hero? A traitor? Or something worse? Scene 10. The recording room again. Present time. Cale returned to the same moon from Part 1. He looked at the stars. I've walked among now, he said, recording again. I trained with them, ate with them, bled beside them. He closed his eyes. And now I understand. He opened them again. The galaxy isn't afraid of humans because they're monsters. They're afraid because humans don't think they are. He placed the chip from Drake into a vault and locked it. Whatever comes next, it won't be a war. He looked up at the sky. It will be a cleansing. Final scene, deep space broadcast. Somewhere across the galaxy, a Unity command. Ship received a secret signal. A voice said, Subject Kelver compromised. Status, active threat. Then another voice, calm, human, familiar. It was Drake. Let him run. The longer he speaks, the louder our legend becomes. The transmission ended. The galaxy slept in silence, but Cale knew. Silence was just the start of the storm. Scene 1. Abandoned station in deep space. Kelver stood in front of a massive, floating ruin in the darkness of deep space. The station was ancient. Black metal, no lights. No signal. Just silence. Beside him, Private Lynn stared at it through the ship window. This place isn't even on the star maps, he said. Cale replied, That's because it wasn't meant to be found. The mission was simple. Retrieve a hidden data core rumored to hold information about Earth's early history, something even the humans had lost. But Cale knew the truth. This wasn't just about history. This was about fear. Scene 2. Inside the station, the squad moved in. Flashlights cut through the thick dust. The air was cold, stale. Walls were covered in symbols from dozens of extinct alien languages. Cale touched one gently. It's older than the war, he whispered. Older than the Council, older than Earth's space age. Suddenly, a soft sound echoed through the hallway like whispering. Everyone stopped. Sergeant Rook raised his rifle. We're not alone. Scene 3. The voice in the dark. In the center of the station, they found it. A giant black sphere, humming softly. Floating above a broken pedestal. On its surface, etched in glowing letters, I saw them before they saw themselves. Cale stepped forward. The sphere spoke. Its voice was ancient, broken, and layered, like 1,000 people speaking at once. You are the one, touched by fire. Everyone froze. Cale whispered, What are you? The II answered, I am Archive 7, the last whisper of the galaxy before it burned. Scene 4. The memory begins. The sphere glowed. Everyone was pulled into a vision. A memory. They saw Earth, not as it is now, but long ago, before space travel. Before war, humans were still fighting each other. But even then, something was different. Cale watched in silence as a small group of humans were shown training in secret, teaching each other how to fight, how to manipulate, how to survive. Then the vision shifted. The AI showed dozens of alien civilizations across the stars, peaceful, intelligent, united. And then, the moment they saw humans. Their fear was instant. Scene 5. The Council's mistake. The vision showed a secret meeting of the First Galactic Council. One of the Taurun elders, Cale's ancestors, stood there. We must keep Earth isolated, he said. They are not ready, and we are not ready for them. But others disagreed. They are small, weak. Let them evolve. Cale's heart raced. His people knew. The IS voice returned. They believed they could guide humans, teach them. But humans do not learn peace. They learn dominance. Scene 6. The Hidden War. The next memory hit hard. Humans, now space travelers, arrived in the stars. First, they were explorers. But soon, they began pushing back borders, taking resources, building weapons far more deadly than any alien race had ever imagined. They didn't conquer with armies. They conquered with ideas. Division. Control. Fear. And when the first human warship destroyed an entire planet without warning, the Council finally realized they hadn't welcomed an ally. They had awakened a storm. Scene 7, Archive 7's warning. Back in the present, Kale dropped to his knees. What do you want from me?" he asked. The AI answered, "You walk between two fires, the one that destroys and the one that pretends to save. You still have time to choose." Kale shook his head. "I already chose. I stood beside them." The AI's voice darkened. "Then you must see it to the end, for the galaxy must learn from the one who watched the flames up close." Suddenly, the sphere's surface cracked. A piece slid open, revealing a glowing data key. Kale picked it up. The AI whispered, "Take it to the place where they began. Only there will the truth be clear." Then, the station began to collapse. Scene 8, Escape and Questions. ****. The squad barely made it back to the ship before the station exploded into dark fire. Inside, Lynn stared at the data key in Kale's hand. "What was that thing?" he asked. Kale looked out the window. "Something that feared your people before they even met you." Lynn laughed nervously. "Come on, we're not that bad." Kale didn't smile. "No," he said, "you're worse." Scene 9, Commander Drake learns the truth. Back on the human flagship, Commander Drake watched the footage from the mission. Her face remained unreadable. Behind her, a high-ranking Earth official appeared on screen. Was the AI destroyed? He asked. Drake replied, "Yes, but the data key survived." The official leaned in. "And Kale?" She paused. "Still loyal." "For now," he frowned. "Then begin Phase 3. It's time we stop pretending." The screen blinked off. Drake stood in silence, then whispered, "Let the galaxy scream." Scene 10. Kale's confession continues. The Hidden Vault. Kale returned to the moon from Part 1 and 2. He entered a hidden vault deep beneath the surface. He placed the data key next to the chip from Operation Afterburn. Then he began speaking to his recorder again. "I saw their past," he said. "And now, I fear their future. They were warned long ago. The galaxy ignored the signs." He looked up at the stars. "And now, the ones who once feared humans, they're already gone." His voice cracked. "I don't know if I can stop what's coming. But maybe," he looked at the camera, "maybe someone else still can." Final scene, Ico, post-credit style. Somewhere, in the ashes of the broken Archive 7 station, one spark remained. A tiny shard of the AI still flickered. Its last message looped, repeating quietly in deep space. "To fight the humans, you must first stop becoming them." Then silence, but this time, it felt permanent. Scene 1, Secret Message from Archive 7. Inside the hidden vault on the moon, Calver stared at the data key from Archive 7. He inserted it into the old recording device. The AI's broken voice returned. "You were not just chosen. You were placed." Kale leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "You are part of something greater, a program planted by humans themselves. Operation Afterburn is not a weapon. It is a reset." The screen flickered. Kale sat back, stunned. "Reset? Reset what?" Scene 2, a past Kale didn't know. The eye showed Kale images, hidden recordings. Long ago, after the first contact with humans, the Galactic Council made a secret decision to erase Earth from all major star charts. But humans found their way back, and not just with weapons. They had scientists, spies, and agents hidden in every government, and one of them created Operation Afterburn, a system made to do one thing: end the galaxy, and restart it under human rule. Kale saw images of Earth leaders smiling. One said, Aliens think we want peace. But peace is control, and control is survival. Scene 3. Kale's training flashback. Kale remembered something now. Back in training, years ago, a strange test. They put him in a simulation. A galaxy burning, aliens screaming. A single message repeating, if everything falls, rebuild from ashes. At the time, he thought it was a dream. Now he knew it was conditioning. Scene 4. Earth's secret council. Far away. On Earth, in a cold underground room. 6 leaders of the hidden Earth Council sat in silence. A large screen showed Kale's recent activities. His mind is opening. One of them said. Good, another replied. The more he doubts, the more we control. His direction. The council leader spoke. Afterburn Phase 3 begins now. Activate the beacons. Everyone nodded. Lights blinked across the screen. A map showing over 100 hidden stations placed across alien space. All ready to ignite. Scene 5. Lynn's discovery. Back on Kale's ship. Private Lynn was working alone in the ship's database. He found something strange. A file, hidden under Kale's ID tag. File, Afterburn Beacon 17, ready target, Zeros Prime. Civilian population, 900 million. His hands trembled. Why is this under Kale's name? Suddenly, the door slid open. Kale entered. He looked at the screen. Lynn turned. Did you know? Kale nodded slowly, not at first. Scene 6. Confrontation. Kale and Lynn sat in silence. You're going to stop them, right? Lynn asked. Kale didn't answer. You fought beside us. You believed in us. Kale whispered. I still do. Lynn stood. Then why hesitate? Kale looked up. His voice was heavy. Because I'm afraid I became you. Scene 7. The afterburn beacons activate. Across the galaxy, the beacons lit up. One by one. Unseen by the public. Undetected by scanners. They looked like normal satellites, but inside each one was a core of dark energy, strong enough to erase a planet's atmosphere in minutes. They weren't made to fight armies. They were made to erase entire species silently. Scene 8. Kale versus Drake. Kale returned to the Vindicator warship. Commander Drake was waiting. I know what afterburn is, he said. Drake nodded. Good. Then you know why it must happen. Kale asked, why destroy the galaxy? Drake replied, because it's already broken. It's full of weakness, and fear, and slow progress. We don't destroy it for fun. We destroy it to rebuild something stronger. Kale raised his weapon. Not like this. Drake smiled. You still don't understand. You are afterburn. Kale froze. Scene 9. The truth about Kale. Drake pressed a button. A screen showed a medical file. Subject. KVR-13. Created. In a lab. Enhanced by our science. Raised by your people. Trained by us. Kale stared in horror. You were never just a soldier, Drake said. You were the test. To see if fear could become loyalty. And it worked. Kale dropped his weapon. Everything he believed was a lie. Scene 10. A choice in fire. Alarms blared. Beacon 17, the one near Zeros Prime, was about to activate. 900 million innocent lives. Kale had 5 minutes. Lynn and the squad stood by. Orders, sir? Kale looked out the window. Then he said, we're not afterburn. Not anymore, he gave the command. Destroy the beacon. Scene 11. Rebellion begins. Kale led the attack on Beacon 17. Drake sent backup. Human warships, drones, saboteurs. Kale and his team fought with fury. The beacon was destroyed. Just seconds before activation. The squad cheered. But Kale didn't. He knew this was only one. 99 beacons still remained. Scene 12. Final recording. The truth to the galaxy. Kale returned to the moon once more. He placed the final message in the vault. The camera blinked red. Recording. This is Kelver, former soldier, former traitor, former weapon. Operation Afterburn is real. It is not a plan to win a war. It is a plan to end you all. He looked into the lens. If you're hearing this, you still have time. Stop the humans. Stop. What they made me. The camera turned off. Kale walked into the shadows. Post-credit scene, Earth's response on Earth. The Secret Council watched Kale's broadcast spread across the galaxy. Worlds were rising in fear. Planets locking down. Councils preparing defenses. But the leader of Earth smiled. He turned to the others and said, "Now." The galaxy finally understands what fear feels like. A screen behind him flashed. Phase 4. Full activation remaining beacons. 99. Status. Aaron Veed, he whispered. Let it burn. Scene 1. A name from the past. Kale sat in silence on the moon base, staring at the beacon schematics. Lynn stood beside him, arms crossed. We can't stop them all alone. Kale didn't speak. Instead, he opened the data core from Archive. 7. Inside was a forgotten name. The Marathi. Lynn blinked. That's a myth. They were wiped out in the first expansion. Kale shook his head. They weren't wiped out. They vanished. And Kale believed they didn't vanish by accident. They escaped. Scene 2. The Forbidden Star System. A few days later, Kale's stolen ship entered a forbidden star system, Darnick's Void. The place was dead. No planets. Just asteroid fields and black stars. Nothing lived here, or so it seemed. As they flew deeper, Lynn noticed something strange on the scanner. Ship. Big one. Old, but active. They turned the lights on it. A massive vessel covered in dust, but intact, drifted among the rocks. Kale whispered, "That's a Marathi." Dreadnought. Scene 3. Entering the Marathi ship. They docked carefully. Inside, it was dark, cold, metallic walls with strange glowing symbols. Then, a voice, not from a speaker, from their minds. "You are not welcome." Kale fell to one knee. Lynn screamed. Heads burned with pressure, but Kale whispered, "We need your help. We fight the humans." Silence followed. Then a different voice, older, gentle, female. Few speak that sentence and survive. Scene 4. The survivor appears. From the shadows a tall creature stepped forward. She had long silver skin, sharp black eyes, and moved like mist. "I am Valith, last of the Marathi Mindweavers." Kale slowly stood. "We thought your kind were gone." Valith replied, "Because that is how we survived." She led them deeper into the ship. There, in glass chambers, were dozens of Marathi, sleeping. In deep stasis, waiting. Scene 5. The truth about the past war. Kale sat with Valith in her chamber. "I've read the records," he said. "You were the only ones who defeated the humans." Valith looked into his eyes. "No," she said. "We didn't defeat them. We tricked them," she explained. "Humans fought with fire, with rage. But rage can be turned inward. We made them fear each other, whispered through dreams, pulled their leaders apart, and when they started killing themselves, we disappeared." Kale whispered, "And you've waited ever since?" Valith nodded, for the day they would return. Scene 6. The mind test. Valith touched Kale's forehead. Suddenly, he was pulled into a vision. He saw Earth's leaders, the Beacon Network, Commander Drake's lies, and then he saw himself, but different. Leading armies, not for humans, but against them. The vision ended. Valith stepped back. "You are broken," she said. "But from broken things come sharp edges." Scene 7. The Marathi offer. Valith walked Kale to a chamber full of ancient technology. These ships haven't flown in centuries, but they still remember the war. She placed a crystal in Kale's hand. "This connects our minds. If you truly fight the humans, we will follow." Kale clenched the crystal. "Then help me stop the next beacon." Scene 8. Battle at Sector 9. Kale, Lynn, and 3 Marathi ships arrived at Sector 9, a quiet trade hub. But hidden behind the moon, beacon 42. It was armed, active, ready to fire on the civilian city below. Human defense drones swarmed toward them. Kale shouted, "Hold the line! Protect the Marathi!" The first wave hit. Flames lit space. Kale's ship spun out but held position. The Marathi focused their energy, using mind tech to disable drones without touching them. One Marathi whispered, "We don't fight ships. We fight thought." Scene 9. Destruction of Beacon 42. As Kale approached the beacon, he saw it charging. Too fast. Too late. Lynn shouted. But then, Valith appeared beside the beacon in her ship. She activated her core crystal. A bright psychic blast hit the beacon's center. It cracked, then exploded into purple flame. Beacon 42 was gone. Lynn cheered. Kale smiled for the first time in weeks. Scene 10. Commander Drake's rage, back on the Vindicator. Commander Drake watched the footage. "Marathi," she hissed. The officer beside her trembled. "But they're extinct." Drake's eyes narrowed. "Then let's make sure they are." She gave the order. "Activate Omega Unit. Bring me Kale's head." Scene 11. Kale's speech to the galaxy. Kale returned to the moon base and opened a wide broadcast channel, this time not hidden. Aliens across the galaxy saw him, some angry, some afraid, some surprised. Kale spoke clearly. "You feared the humans, so did I. But fear is not enough anymore. Now we fight." He showed the Marathi behind him. "They survived, so can we. Join me, fight with me. This galaxy belongs to all of us." Scene 12. Final moments. Preparing for war. Later that night, Kale sat with Valith by the edge of the moon. "Crater, you've started something," she said. Kale replied, "I don't know if we can win." Valith looked at the stars. "We don't fight to win. We fight to prove we're still here." Kale nodded slowly. Then whispered, "Then let's remind them. The galaxy does not belong to Earth alone." Post-credit style scene. Earth responds again. In the deep halls of Earth's secret council, the leader watched Kale's broadcast. Behind him, 12 massive human warships prepared to launch. He turned to his generals. "Let him speak. Let them gather. Then, we end them all at once." A new order blinked on the screen. Operation Afterburn Phase 5 status. Planet-wide trial run target. System, RAKJUL. Population, 2.1 billion. Time to impact, 7 days. Scene 1. 7 days left. A silent timer glowed red on the ship's screen. Time to impact, 7 days. Target, Rakjul population, 2.1 billion. Kale stood motionless. Lynn whispered behind him, "That's not a beacon. That's a full extinction device." Kale slowly nodded. "Earth has started Phase 5. This is their warning. If we don't stop them here, every planet is next." Scene 2. Rakjul, a peaceful world. Rakjul was a beautiful place, floating cities, blue skies, forests that glowed at night. The people here were known for peace, not war. They had no army. No weapons. Just science and culture. When Kale's ship entered orbit, the local council greeted him. The Chancellor, a wise old alien named Deru, welcomed them. "We heard rumors of Earth's plan. We hoped they were lies." Kale looked into his eyes. "Hope won't stop this, but action might." Scene 3. A divided council inside the Great City Dome. Kale explained the danger, but the council was split. One half believed Kale and wanted to prepare. The other half refused. "We won't start a war based on stories," one said. "We don't even know if this Omega device exists," said another. Kale slammed his hand on the table. "You won't have a city if you wait for proof." Deru raised his hand. "Let him speak. Let him lead the defense." Scene 4. A new alliance is born. In the following hours, thousands of Rakjulians gathered. Scientists, engineers, pilots, even farmers, all stood behind Kale. The Marathi worked beside them. teaching their mind-tech. Lin trained volunteers. In basic combat, Kale looked over the city from a tall tower. He whispered, "This world must not fall. If it does, we all do." Scene 5. Earth's Omega Strike Team. Far across the stars, Earth's secret warship, the Eclipse Lance, approached Rakjul space. Inside it sat a group known as Omega Unit, Earth's deadliest Black Ops. Team. No names, only code numbers. Leader, Agent Zero. His mission, deliver the core, detonate the atmosphere. No survivors. He looked out the window and smiled. Time to clean the galaxy. Scene 6. The spy among them. Back on Rakjul, during late repairs, Lin found a strange signal on the ship's console. It was a location beacon, sending their position. "Someone here is sending our location to Earth," Lin said. Kale's eyes narrowed. "Whoever it is, they just painted a target on this city." Scene 7. The first attack begins without warning. Black Earth drones entered the sky. Fast, silent, deadly. They didn't warn. They just fired. Explosions lit the city edges. Civilians screamed. Kale took command. "All fighters, to the west gate. Protect the people." Marathi ships flew overhead, turning the tide. But Agent Zero's voice echoed in Kale's mind. A psychic transmission. "Still trying to play the hero, Kale? You were better as a weapon." Scene 8. Discovery of the core. In the middle of battle, a child led Lin to a hidden crater in the forest. Buried inside was a strange silver box. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Kale arrived. He knew what it was. Immediately. The Omega Core. A bomb powered by dark fusion. If it activated, it would suck the air from the planet, kill every living thing, and leave Rakjul a silent rock. Kale stared at it. "We have 6 hours. Scene 9. Agent Zero versus Kale. Kale led a team deep into the underground, where the Omega Core was buried. Waiting there was Agent Zero, covered in black armor, face hidden. "You were our best design," he said. Kale raised his gun. "I'm not your weapon anymore." They fought brutal, hand dash to dash hand. Fists, blades, blood. Kale was stronger, but Zero was faster. "You can't stop Earth," Zero said, stabbing Kale's side. Kale growled, "I don't have to stop Earth. I just have to stop you." He tackled Zero into the core's cooling unit, freezing the assassin instantly. But Kale collapsed, wounded. Scene 10. Sacrifice. Back in the control room, Valith and Lin stared at the core. It was still active. 5 minutes left. Kale lay bleeding. Lin looked at Valith. "We have to move it off planet." Valith nodded. "I'll take it. My ship can handle the blast if I jump fast enough." Lin grabbed her arm. "You won't survive." Valith smiled. "We Marathi already died once. This is just the last page." Scene 11. Valith's last flight. Valith took the Omega Core into her personal ship. As alarms rang, she flew upward, fast breaking into space. Kale woke in time to see her go. "Valith, don't," he whispered. Her voice entered his mind one last time. "Live well, Calver. Become what they feared." Her ship vanished into hyperspace and exploded moments later in the void. The Omega Core was gone. Rakjul was saved, but the cost was high. Scene 12. Rebellion awakens. Word spread fast. The planet was meant to be erased, but it lived. Millions of aliens across other systems heard the truth. They didn't hide anymore. They joined Kale's cause. Messages came in. "We have soldiers. We have weapons. We are with you." Kale stood on the edge of the rebuilt city. Behind him, Marathi survivors, Rakjul defenders, and new allies. He looked at the stars. Earth will come harder now. Then, let them come. Post-credit scene. Earth's final card. Back on Earth, the Secret Council watched Kale's growing rebellion. He saved the planet. One general said. The leader didn't blink. "Good. He turned on a final screen. It showed an ancient alien cube locked in a vault. Begin Project Lazarus. If they want to fight monsters, we'll show them what real fear looks like. Scene 1. The vault under Earth, deep beneath Earth's surface. Under the ice core base, 12 generals stood in a black chamber. In the middle, a floating alien cube, old and humming softly. The High Commander stepped forward. This is Project Lazarus, he said. It was found during the first expansion, in a dead galaxy. One general whispered, it killed 3 systems. Another said, it should stay buried. The High Commander didn't blink. This war must end. Release it. Scene 2. Kale's restless night, on Rakjul. The city was slowly healing. People rebuilt what they could. Kale sat alone. On the mountain tower, staring at the stars. Lynn walked up quietly. You should sleep. Kale didn't turn. I felt something change, he said. She frowned. What do you mean? Something woke up. His eyes stayed fixed on the stars. And it's coming. Scene 3. The first signal in the outskirts of Sector 11. A small cargo ship picked up a strange signal. The captain looked at the screen. Coordinates? Earth? Then static filled the room, and then screams. The ship vanished from tracking. Gone. No explosion. Just silence. Scene 4. The Lazarus arrival, 3 days later. Above a quiet moon station. Something entered space. No engine. No sound. Just a black sphere, smooth and cold, floating slowly. The station scanned it. Unidentified object. No response. Suddenly, power died. Lights flickered. The sphere opened. And something came out. The last sound from the station. It's not human. Then, nothing. Scene 5. What is Lazarus? On Rakjul, Lynn burst into Kale's room. Another station is gone. No debris, no survivors. Kale stood. It's not a weapon, he said. It's alive. He called a meeting with the Marathi survivors. Vileth's brother, Aylar, stepped forward. We've seen this before, he said. It is not from Earth. It is older than Earth, the humans. Found it, now they use it. But it does not obey. Kale's voice dropped. They think they control it. But they don't. Scene 6. The dreams start. People across Rakjul began dreaming. Same visions. Same whispers. Cold metal voices. We see you. You are nothing. Sleep now. Children cried in their sleep. Soldiers woke up screaming. Even Kale saw flashes, a planet burning. A black figure walking through ash. He clenched his fists. It's not just killing. It's breaking minds. Scene 7. A message from Earth. Suddenly, Earth sent a broadcast, open and public. The High Commander appeared. We gave you mercy. You refused it. He stepped aside. Behind him was a massive figure, tall, cloaked in black armor, glowing red eyes, arms too long for its body. This is Lazarus. It destroyed the Eldari. It ended the Drexer War. Now, it ends. You. Kale stared at the screen. They're not sending an army this time. They're sending a god. Scene 8. Rebellion fractures. Kale gathered his allies from across systems. Some were ready, some were afraid. One alien leader shouted, "This is not war anymore, this is death." Another said, "We should surrender. Maybe Earth will spare." U.S. Kale stood and raised his voice. "We fight anyway. Because if we don't, they'll come for our homes one by one." Lynn stepped beside him. "If Lazarus is a god, then we make it bleed like a monster." Scene 9. The first battle with Lazarus. The black figure arrived at Sector 17, a rebel supply zone. Ships attacked it with full power. Laser fire, rockets, missiles, nothing stopped it. It moved silently. Ships crumbled around it. One pilot screamed, "Overcomes. It's inside my head." Kale arrived too late. From his ship he saw an entire moon split in half. He whispered, "It doesn't need weapons." It is the weapon. Scene 10. Kale confronts the cube. Marathi tech revealed something strange. Lazarus was connected to a central object, the original cube, still on Earth. If they could destroy it, maybe Lazarus would fall. Kale made a bold decision. I'm going to Earth. Lynn froze. That's suicide. Kale shook his head. We've fought their armies. We've fought their ships. Now we fight their soul. Scene 11. Breaking into Earth, using an ancient stealth drive. Kale and a small team slipped past the Earth defense ring. They landed in the old ruins of New Geneva, a dead city covering the ice core base. Underground. Tunnels stretched for miles. Kale led the team, silent, heart pounding. One rebel whispered, "Do you feel that? The cold?" Kale replied, "It's not cold. It's fear." Scene 12. Face to face with Lazarus, they reached the vault. There it was, the cube, floating, humming louder now. And behind it, Lazarus. It didn't move, didn't attack, just stared at Kale. Then it spoke. "You were made to obey." Kale raised his weapon. "Not anymore." Lazarus stepped forward. "You were not born. You were built." Kale's hands shook. Memories returned. Needles, labs, human scientists. Kale's voice cracked. "You're lying." Lazarus whispered, "You are me." Scene 13. Kale's rage. Kale screamed, rage and pain exploding from inside. The cube pulsed. Marathi tech inside. Kale's suit activated. Something Valeth had hidden there. It lit with blue fire. Kale ran forward and stabbed the cube with the crystal blade. The vault shook. Lazarus roared, the sound of 1,000 voices crying at once. The cube cracked, but not fully. Kale was thrown back. Bleeding. Lazarus faded, but not gone. Scene 14. Escape and resolve. Kale's team pulled him out. The Earth guards were coming. They fled through the tunnels as explosions ripped the base. Back on their ship, Lynn tended to Kale's wounds. "You did it," she said. He opened his eyes. "No, not yet." Final scene. Lazarus reacts. Far across space, on the edge of a dying star, Lazarus appeared again, weaker, slower, but still alive. It floated above a desert moon. And from the ground, others like it began to rise. Not just one, not just Lazarus, but a whole race. Now begins the true war. Scene 1. Preparing for war. Kale stood at the highest tower of Rakjul's rebuilt city. Around him, leaders from dozens of planets gathered. Ships hovered in the sky, armed and ready. Lynn approached quietly. "The galaxy is watching." Kale nodded. "This is more than a fight. This is survival." The stars above felt heavy. The final war had come. Scene 2. The Galactic Alliance. The council chamber buzzed with voices. "We must unite," Kale said. "Earth's armies are strong. Lazarus is stronger." A tall alien named Jara spoke up. We'll fight, but our weapons alone won't win." Kale smiled. "Then we'll fight smarter." Marathi tech experts showed new weapons, energy shields, mind shield implants, and pulse cannons. "Combined we can slow Lazarus," Lynn said. Kale raised his fist. "For every planet lost, we make Earth pay double." Scene 3. The first strike plan. Kale's team planned a daring attack. They would hit Earth supply lines and communications. "We cut their strength before they bring Lazarus here." Ships prepared. Pilots checked weapons. Kale looked at the faces of his crew. "You are the hope of many." Scene 4. The Battle of the Outer Rim. Explosions lit the black space. Ships clashed in deadly dances. Kale's flagship led the charge. The enemy sent waves of drones. Marathi ships flared with energy blasts, but Earth's Omega units were everywhere. Deadly and relentless. One pilot cried over comms. "They're inside the ship. They're killing the crew." Kale gritted his teeth. "We hold the line." Scene 5. Earth's desperate move. Back on Earth, The High Commander watched the battle. "Lazarus is growing weak," he said. "We send the clones." Behind him, rows of dark suits stood, human clones enhanced with Lazarus tech. They moved like machines. Their leader approached, a tall woman with red eyes, Agent Nova. "Send them in," the commander said. Scene 6. The Clone Assault. The clones dropped into Kale's fleet. They moved fast. Stronger than normal soldiers, Kale faced Agent Nova. In close combat, her strikes were precise and deadly. Kale struggled but found a way. He broke her weapon and shouted, "This ends now." She smiled. "No, it doesn't." Scene 7. The Turning Point. During the chaos, Lynn found a hidden signal. It came from the Ice Core base on Earth. A secret weapon was charging, a pulse that could destroy the rebel fleet. "We must stop it," she said. Kale agreed. "We split the fleet. Half stop the pulse, half hold Earth's armies." Scene 8. The Silent Strike Team. Kale led the team to Earth's surface. The planet was cold and harsh. They moved through ruins. Every step was dangerous. They reached the weapon chamber. Kale planted explosives. The countdown began. Scene 9. The Final Clash. Earth's guards arrived. Kale fought desperately. Lynn covered him. The timer ticked down. 3, 2, 1. The chamber exploded. Scene 10. Back in space. The pulse was stopped. The rebels cheered. But the battle was far from over. Lazarus appeared above Earth. Larger, angrier. Kale's fleet prepared for the last fight. Scene 11. The Last Stand. Kale stood on the bridge. His ship shook under heavy fire. "Hold your positions," he ordered. Ships exploded around him. Lazarus crashed into the fleet. Kale faced it. With a roar, he charged. Scene 12. Sacrifice and Victory. The fight was brutal. Kale and Lazarus exchanged blows. Kale's suit was damaged. He remembered Velith's words, "Become what they feared." With a final move, Kale drove his blade into Lazarus's core. The creature screamed and shattered. The galaxy was silent. Scene 13. Aftermath. Kale floated in space, injured but alive. Lynn found him. "We did it." Kale nodded. "But the cost?" "Many ships were lost. Many friends." Scene 14. A New Dawn. Back on Rak Jul, the Alliance celebrated. Kale spoke. "We fought not just for survival, but for freedom." The stars shone brighter. And somewhere, deep in space, new stories began.